Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Legacy Speaks. My name is Sierra Hillsman, licensed professional counselor and wellness strategist. Today we're going to have an amazing conversation. That's a follow-up to another amazing conversation that I literally just had. Okay, we're going to talk about how to show up in a healthy relationship. And we're not just talking about any type of relationship, but friendships specifically. We understand that making friends in adulthood can be very difficult. And so we're going to learn how to effectively make friends and how to show up. Okay, how to show up authentically in our friendships. But before we dive right in, I need you to hit that subscription button below. That way you can stay up to date on newly released content on a regular basis. So let's dive right in. I literally just had a conversation with three amazing women about frenemies, right? The concept of a frenemy. So, what is a frenemy? These are individuals who pretend to operate as close companions and partners and friendships and whatnot, but they struggle to effectively be healthy friends because of their toxic behaviors. Some toxic behaviors include manipulation, lying, both either in your face or behind your back, not wanting you to succeed, wanting you to be a certain level, using that passive aggressive communication, or being very demeaning in nature. And one of the questions that came up was, okay, well, now we know what a frenemy is. How can we overcome this? And immediately I thought about the importance of knowing what friendship looks like for you first. Mindfulness is so important. I know oftentimes when we think about mindfulness, we're thinking about that meditation, we're stopping, we're pausing, we're thinking about how we feel in the moment, we're trying to clear our minds. But mindfulness is the intentional process of sitting down and directing your focus on a specific thing, allowing yourself to be fully present with regards to what's going on inside as well as on the outside of self. And mindfulness gives us an opportunity to be able to observe what's happening so that we can effectively communicate it to other people as well as ourselves. So, if you are ever taking the time to increase mindfulness, you can utilize your five senses. You can see, taste, touch, smell, or even hear. And then also check in with that body sensation. We talked about this mind body connection. The brain is a part of the body. So, anytime you might feel a particular trigger, identify those warning signs. Are you experiencing tension in your shoulders when that person calls you? Are you getting migraines because you spent hours listening to their problems with no end in sight? Okay, are you experiencing racing heartbeat anytime that person starts to minimize your experience? So pay attention to your body. Anytime you want to clearly identify a role in your life, whether it's the role of a sister, the role of a friend, the role of a colleague, whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you need from that person, I need you to take some time to identify your needs. And I know that may be a bit uncomfortable for some of us simply because we've been placing the needs of other people before us. But let's put the spotlight on ourselves. And if you do find this to be uncomfortable, pause this video, take a moment and write down really quickly what it is that makes you a bit antsy when it comes to sitting down and putting the focus on yourself. Take a moment, because you truly deserve it, to write out all of your needs and how those needs have been met or how they have not been met in your friendships. All right, all right, all right. You better take this pause. Okay, take this pause because you definitely deserve it. Hey y'all, it's Sierra. Make sure you head over to shoplegacysbks.com to check out the latest gear. As always, we have the classic therapy is dope crew neck as well as tees. And I know the weather is a bit chilly right now, so head over to cop your crew neck today. It comes in heather navy, that cardinal red, as well as that beautiful gold that we love to see. So head over to purchase yours, not only for yourself, but also for a friend as well. And we are offering free shipping right now. So head over to shoplegacysbks.com to cop all of your therapy's dope gear and check out all the other additional merch as well. All right, so once you've identified your needs, take a step back and assess whether or not you're getting those needs met within that relationship. And then also, most importantly, hold yourself accountable. How are you making sure that your own needs are being met by yourself? Because oftentimes we could put the responsibility on other people to fulfill our needs, when in fact, it's important for us to be the source of our needs as well. And that can look like making sure that you are feeding yourself on time, okay? Or if you're looking for happiness, find ways that you can establish sources of joy within yourself, okay? Now, obviously, nobody is your savior except for the Lord Jesus Christ. But I need you to take a moment to be your own superhero first before you look towards salvation from other people. All right, let's get back to the topic at hand. How can we maintain healthy relationships? Well, the reason why I brought up mindfulness is because oftentimes it's hard for us to maintain healthy relationships because we've never been exposed to healthy relationships. So think back to your first encounter of a friend. How have you defined friendship over the years? What does that actually practically look like for you? For some people, dysfunction has been normalized in their friendships. So it's very difficult for one to find peace or maybe even to readily receive a healthy, genuine connection with other people if all the people that they've encountered in their life have facilitated some toxic behaviors. And like we talked about at the top of the episode, those individuals have often sacrificed you, have placed their needs before yours, have minimized your experience, have forgotten all about those special moments that are very important to you, have used you as their emotional ATM, have constantly been withdrawing so much from you but not putting back into you. So if that is your norm, if that's all you've seen from your friends, from your mom's relationships with her friends, from your cousins, if you've only seen that type of negative relationship, and it's a bit difficult for you to switch gears because that's been normalized for so many years. Now, I do want to preface this, just because you've seen this happen for years, it does not make it right. It does not make it the norm. You get an opportunity to redefine what friendships look like for you in this moment. So a couple of questions to ask yourself is, what does a friend do for me? What's the point of fostering friendships? What benefits do I gain from friendships? And what are some things that I have to sacrifice in order to maintain that friendship? And when we're talking about sacrifice, not sacrificing to a place of detriment, but we understand that relationships are two-way streets. There is give and take, okay? So you're not always going to be on the receiving end. You're also going to be in a place of willingly giving, okay? And so understand that if you are wanting to have healthy relationships, recognize that there are some things that you're going to have to give in order to receive as well, and vice versa. So make sure that you're taking time to identify what a friendship looks like. Clearly outline what you are looking for. What is the intent? What are the goals of a relationship? And then move forward. So once you have acquired the friendship and things are rocking and rolling and things of that nature, here are a couple of things that we need to do in order to maintain the relationship. Show up your full authentic self. Please show up your full authentic self. Please be yourself. The reason why people gravitate towards you is because they see a beautiful personality. They love who you are. They love what you bring to the table. They love the jokes that you tell. They love the wisdom that you provide. They love the security that you provide, the emotional safety. Be your authentic self. Do not dim your light. Oftentimes, a lot of friendships are built on superficiality. A lot of friendships are built on staying on the surface, okay? And if that's the type of friendship you like, then cool. But remember that genuine relationships are built on intimacy. Time takes trust. Trust takes time. And so take that journey, not only with that person, but with yourself. Make sure that you know who you are first before you engage in a relationship. And then sometimes I like to, give another perspective. Sometimes healthy relationships help us get to a place of us knowing who we are. And that's the beautiful thing. When we see somebody who is living in their truth, when we see somebody who is willing to stand up for what they believe in, when we see somebody honoring what they believe in, that inspires us to do the same for ourselves. So the number one thing that we need to do in order to maintain a healthy relationship is to show up our full, authentic self. Okay. And then there may be a little bit of wrestling, but it's okay. Do the work, peel back the layers, and we will focus on that. Hey, lovely, shout out to you because I know mental and emotional wellness is important to you. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. But lean in really quickly because I know sometimes it's really hard to create a plan and actually sticking to it. So let's take your mental health to another level. Ever wonder what keeps you from fully executing? Ever wonder how you can build the confidence for decision making? Well, guess what? You're not alone and I'm here to help. So head over to mentalhealthgoals.com for your free mental health plan. It'll give you practical strategies for addressing your current mental health needs. But first, you got to tap in. So head over to mentalhealthgoals.com to receive your free mental health action plan today. Do it right now. Mentalhealthgoals.com. See you soon. When we talked about the whole give and take, another thing that we need to do in order to maintain a healthy relationship is to show up even in the little moments, right? So we understand that relationships are more than just text messages and phone calls, but the physical presence, that proximity is so important. And so when you know that a person is having a special day, whether it be a wedding, a graduation, a promotion, if there's something that's important in their life, show up for those big things, but also show up in those small moments as well. Maybe they're stressed out because they're overwhelmed with all the things that are on their plate. It's okay to pick up the phone and have a nice conversation. It's okay to send them a quick bouquet of flowers. It's okay to knock on the door with Chinese food in your hand. Show up in those small, intimate moments. Show up for them when they need a listening ear. Show up for them when they need somebody to hold space for them. Just show up, whether it be through prayer, interceding for their friends' needs, or maybe even having a conversation with a family member regarding their needs. Show up in the little ways, and that's so important. So not just the big things, but also show up in the little things as well. Speaking of showing up in the little things, another way to maintain a healthy relationship is to genuinely be interested in how they are feeling and how they are doing. Oftentimes when we say, hey, how are you doing? We immediately say, oh, I'm fine, or all is well, or if you're real churchy, blessed and highly favored. We say those things immediately. But what I've been doing as of lately is truly asking myself, how are you feeling? How are you doing? And I feel like that question is important because it really causes me to sit back and actually assess and check in on myself. And if I recognize the magnitude of doing that simply for myself, I can only imagine how impactful that is for another individual, especially if they may not have had the time to sit down and actually think about how all of their inner workings of their life is impacting them emotionally, physically, occupationally, socially, environmentally, all of these different domains that we operate in. It's important for us to take a moment to say, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And listening. Please do it with the intent of holding space for the person. All right, don't just ask and jet off. You know, we are not Jimmy Neutron in this thing. Got a blast. Okay, don't ask a question and blast off. All right. But please make sure that you are genuinely interested and invested, and be prepared to have the conversation after they express how they truly feel. Because I see it all the time. We ask, how are you doing? And when a person is actually truthful, we be like, oh, wait a minute. I wasn't expecting all of this. So please take a moment. If you want to maintain a healthy relationship, be invested, be concerned about the well-being of another human being. We bypass so many people every single day, and we have so many individual stories and so many different unique perspectives. And it would behoove us to take a moment to slow down and allow another human being to express how they're feeling, how they're doing, even if it's just but for a moment. You're probably the first person who ever took the time to address how they feel, or made them sit down and slow down to address how they feel. So please do it. Don't sleep on that. And the last thing to do in order to maintain a healthy relationship is to continue to clarify goals in a relationship. Oftentimes we meet people by happenstance. Oftentimes we're introduced to people intentionally. Oftentimes we start working with an individual simply because our roles and responsibilities require us to do so. And over time, after that specific phase of our life has ended, it's important for us to identify how we would like to maintain this relationship. If it ends, it ends. Cool. But if it continues, understand that you are ever evolving and ever changing, and the same thing with that person. Okay. When we meet people in a specific time and season of their life, right? And so it would not benefit us to freeze that person in time based upon when we met them. They're not the same person, and you aren't either. So give them the grace and the favor and the space to be able to explore who they have become in this friendship. So as people change, as you change, as they change, take a moment to clarify your goals. Ask them, hey, where I know the reason why I started laughing, the reason why I started laughing is because immediately I thought about the question that we often ask people when we are dating, like, where are we going? Where do you see us going? What are we doing in this relationship? Greta, you can ask those questions. You can ask whatever questions, especially if this is your friend, okay? Honest, healthy dialogue is real. So go ahead and ask those questions. But let's dig a little bit deeper, okay? Let's become a little bit more insightful with these spicy questions. But definitely ask, hey, how can I serve you in this season of your life? How can we advance our friendship? What do we need to do in order to continue to remain healthy friends? Be collaborative in nature, because what you think the friendship needs is probably not going to be the same exact thing for the other person. And so don't start making changes without the other person. Remember, it's a two-way street or three-way street, or maybe it's a whole friend group. So that's why it's important. Like, you get an opportunity to lay everything on the table: what's working, what's not working, what can be done better, how can we improve, where are we going, where do you see yourself, how can we cultivate a new vision for our friendship. And so take a moment to have those deep conversations, have those soul searching conversations. I know we do this with the people that we date or the people that we marry, but try to copy and paste that same approach with our friendships, okay? Because a friendship is still a partnership. So recognize that. All right, y'all. I really do hope that this was very insightful and very effective for you. Like we talked about it, like, friendships are constantly changing. People are constantly changing. So if you happen to come across a person that you truly care about and you really, really, really enjoy and value this relationship, be intentional about doing the work both inside and outside. Be collaborative in nature. Make sure that you are having open, honest dialogue and conversation. But most importantly, show up and be yourself. Okay. All right, y'all. If at any point you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Please leave a review if you got anything out of this particular episode. And please don't forget to connect at Legacy SBKS on everything. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And definitely stay connected at legacysbks.com. If this is your first time meeting us and you want to join our newsletter, head over to mentalhealthgoals.com or click the link in the show notes below or in this description box below, and we will get you connected. I look forward to being able to have continuous healthy conversations about mental and emotional wellness. All right, stay tuned and see you soon.